Welcome back, gamers, to episode 40 of Pocket Edition, the bite-size podcast. Today I am joined by Mark. How are you today, Mark?
I'm good. Even though it's now spring in Australia, I just had a proper winter's day where it was raining all day.
Yeah, I know. It's been crazy up and down lately. Mark, before we start talking about puddles and various other things, what have you been up to?
I just finished off We Happy Few.
Oh, and now you're reviewing this on your channel, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ooh, can you give us anything? Just point us in a direction. Like, is there a general vibe you're getting from this?
I'm absolutely in love with the story and world. The other aspects of the game.
Technical aspects?
Like, its combat is so clunky and messy. I tried to avoid it whenever possible because stealth is an option, but its stealth is broken as well.
Oh boy!
And it's such a shame because everything surrounding the gameplay is so rock solid, but the game has like bugs and combat is just a drag. You can just it's got all these different mechanics, but you can just mash it through to the end. And once you get a taser, that's pretty much the end of all combat. You just tase everyone on your way.
Jeez.
But the story and world, fantastic, and I've never been so conflicted about scoring a game because I love this giant chunk of it, and even though story, gameplay to me usually makes up the majority of a game because if it's not fun, there's no point.
Yeah,
but I was so engaged. It'll come out in a review.
Alright, when can we expect that review on your channel?
Hopefully next week, if I get off my ass.
I can hear you on your ass on that squeaky chair.
Yeah.
I have not actually been playing much this week. I am, however, about to start, and I have picked up a copy of Doom 2016 for Switch.
Nice.
So that's going to be interesting, because I've played Doom on both the PS4, that's the first system I played it on, and then I picked it up when I bought my PC, and I played it again on PC, at ultra ridiculous settings on my widescreen, and holy cow, that was a delight. And the reason why I wanted to pick it up on Switch was not only to, one, kind of experience something that's kind of a little bit, I feel like it's going to be a little bit kind of quirky and cool, the fact that it is actually able to run on a Switch. This next point might sound silly, but with this being my third playthrough of Doom, I'm going to love it again. But I'm almost a little bit worried that I'm going to burn out in the Doom formula before I get my hands on number 2. So I wanted to play it on a system where it's literally going to feel like the retarded version of Doom. I don't mean retarded in a condescending sense, poking fun. I mean it's a throttled version of Doom.
Yeah, because its control scheme is different, so it feels completely odd.
So I want to enjoy the experience of it being on a Switch and be fascinated as to how it's kind of running and working. And I know I'm going to enjoy it, but I want to go from the Switch version of 2016 Doom to Doom Eternal running at ultra settings on my PC.
Okay, so you want to re-blow your mind?
I want to re-blow my mind. I want it to be a night and day experience, but I still want to enjoy it. It's a very weird scenario I've created in my head, but it's what I'm running with. So
yeah. No,
that's what
go run with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks. But Mark, let's talk about puddles. Before we talk about puddles, though, if you're listening to us on podcast services such as iTunes and SoundCloud, be sure to come over and check out our YouTube channel because we've got plenty of other content available for you there, along with visuals. These podcasts are accompanied by visuals, believe it or not. So come on over and check us out. But Mark, let's move on to Spider-Man and PuddleGate. What if I told you gamers are suggesting or stating that Spider-Man has been visually downgraded since its E3 demo?
I'd say I wanted to come up with a pun, but it wouldn't work.
Yeah, we're going for a three punner again.
I was trying hard, but nothing came to me. I was
cannot be
gonna
pleased.
say their spidey sense was off or something.
Yeah. Oh, take it.
Yeah, take it.
So yeah, there's been screenshots that have been released and side-by-side comparisons have happened. Yes, people have dug through it all and they've done the hard yards, comparing the 2017 demo to basically the final version of Spider-Man now, bar any post-launch patches, comparing the two. And the biggest screen cap that which I'll put on screen for you now, as you can see, it's Spider-Man hanging from a ledge or a corner looking at baddies in a construction high-rise complex. They're picking up on the lack of water detail on the ground. Some of the puddles have been reduced or removed, and people are stating that it's to reduce the processing that's occurring on the system, on whatever system you're playing on. Since, though, Insomniac have come out and stated that there has been no visual downgrade of Spider-Man. And since they've actually said that, other people have actually gone through and found other comparison shots between 2017 demo and final build Spider-Man. And it's a very conflicting story, because on one side, yes, the 2018 puddle shots, it does look significantly less flashy and it does look downgraded. But then you see other comparison shots and it's the other way around. So, Mark, the point of this is, are we just being nitpicky? Or not you and I, but are consumers and gamers being nitpicky? Are we just finding something to be mad at every turn?
I think that there is generally speaking, I think that there's a degree of entitlement that's grown more and more and more over the generations. But initially, when I saw this story, I was a bit surprised because I wouldn't have really noticed the puddle. I would have noticed like the character and things like that. Yeah. I wouldn't have expected a puddle to make such a big splash. There you go. I was saving that one. Someone said it. I think I read it on Twitter. Someone had threw their 2 cents in, where we don't know how it works within the Spider-Man game itself with weather effects, day and night cycles, and things like that. It might be like the demo last year, when we saw it with some very, very nice looking puddles on closer inspection, because I don't usually notice that stuff. And it was just, that wasn't the right time when that new screen cap was taken. But realistically, I don't think that that's where everyone should be focusing.
No.
It's not at all. Like, if the game runs well, if the game looks good, then that's pretty much all you need.
Be it.
If I never noticed the puddle the first time, I'm probably not going to notice it the second time. It's not important enough to me to impact my decision on whether or not I will buy the game. If the game has no puddles, that's fine, because that's like every other game I've played. And so far, I've been pretty good puddleless.
I will also point out that this has also quickly become an internet meme, PuddleGate. So it does highlight the ridiculousness of this situation and how just kind of stupid it's getting. People just need to relax and calm down and take a deep breath and just enjoy their Spider-Man. To throw into the mix as well, and again, this isn't regarding visual downgrading. This is just regarding how pathetic people are getting, and how wound up everybody's getting. I'll throw Doom Eternal into the mix with their recent political view jokes regarding immigration. And of course, we have Cyberpunk 2077 with the joke they made on Twitter, which was, don't assume their gender. People are reading between the lines a lot, and people are just getting angry over trivial stuff. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, Mark. It's just, I feel like we're just being picky about everything. So in 2018, to me, it feels like developers can't even pick their nose and scratch their asses without either offending someone or getting called out for visually downgrading.
It's annoying, because it's sort of the PC culture going too far. Because it's always been growing. Similar thing how I said entitlements growing. If, like, take the Cyberpunk one, for example, did you just assume the gender thing? That's a meme. We know it's a meme. Everyone should know it's a meme.
I used that joke probably 3 to 4 times last week.
Yeah, I used it in the last podcast. But it's a well-known meme and things like that. And knowing CD Projekt and knowing how inclusive they are and things like that, and like even Witcher had their own little like jabs at political views and current structures. How it's like they said female knights can be strong too and things like that in back in like 1300s, 1400s sort of thing.
Yeah,
which was good. That was nice. But knowing CD Projekt would not mean any ill will or anything like that. Tweeting a meme and people thinking that they have ill will is just insane.
Well, is it even thinking that they have ill will, or is it just trying to stamp out anything that, even in joking jest, flies in the face of PC culture? Like, are they just trying to silence people? In the case of CD Projekt Red, or in the case of Doom Eternal, that even if they had an opinion that they were conveying through their medium, being Doom Eternal, their creation, should they have not been allowed to do that if they so desired? It's their game, it's their opinion. Should they not be allowed to voice it? And was the hate and rage warranted that they received? Or is it over the top? Because in my opinion, it's over the top. People are just triggered and on a knife's edge like all the time. In my opinion, you should not be getting angry at someone else's opinion. You should raise a concern, you should confront them about it, but you shouldn't be slandering them.
No, not at all. I've always had this viewpoint where opinion and fact get confused far too often. Opinion is opinion, fact is fact. A review is opinion. Things like that. I know that we're getting a little bit off topic by me saying, but it's like you should never take something like that strictly as fact. People should express their opinions because then you get diverse views and everyone's smarter and the better for it. If you don't agree with something, you don't agree with it. You don't need to get angry and force them to agree with you.
And create a flame war or try and like position what they're saying as being wrong or not good enough, because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
At least in regards to Cyberpunk 2077 and Doom Eternal. And this is assuming in Doom Eternal's case that there is actually something there and people just aren't reading between the lines too much, which could well be the case.
Yeah, like I completely think that Doom they're reading between the lines. That was just a thing that they were doing. Like it's slightly off topic, but like years ago I met this poet because I was studying his stuff for school and things like that in my studies. And there's this brilliant metaphor type thing in one of his poems. And so I asked him about it because I wanted to know what he actually meant by it. And it was like this imagery of like a shadow cast over half someone's face, like perfect symmetry, half their face, light and darkness thing. And so I asked him about it. He goes, "Oh no, that was just how the sun was that day." And I was like, "Oh, all right." So he didn't mean anything by it at all.
Yeah.
It just so happened to be written like that and interpreted like that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I think the Doom thing is. It's like they were just writing.
They're writing gags and jokes.
And that's just how you interpreted it at that point. And that interpretation might be incorrect or it might be correct. You never know because they just wrote it in. They weren't really thinking. It might be a subconscious thing. It might not. Who knows?
What is fact, though, is that they did not deserve the backlash and slandering that they got.
Not at all.
It's just insane. And again, to come full circle, are developers under the magnifying glass too much? Have we reached a tipping point now where we're just going too far? Because in my opinion, we are. And to circle it back to PuddleGate, who fucking cares?
Yeah, I mean, like, how many games have we seen over the last decade, or not even decade, let's say like the last 5 years, that have looked nothing like their initial reveals or gameplay things? That's a common thing. Games change.
The only, I think, hiccup that exists within this, who cares statement is pre-orders. If you're pre-ordering a game and the game changes, then technically, yes, you've bought something that isn't what was depicted, right?
Yeah.
And this is, I'm going out like on a stretch here. And this all circles back around to don't pre-order your games. Wait for reviews. Wait till they launch. Don't pre-order because this stuff happens. If it does worry you, don't pre-order. But again, it all comes back to just stop. Who cares? Like, if the game has, even if Spider-Man has slightly been downgraded, why are we stressing about it? It's still probably going to be an amazing game, even if it is missing a few puddles.
It isn't called The Amazing Spider-Man, though.
Oh, that's true. That is very true. Scratch that. 1 out of 10 IGN review.
I just had to. I'm sure that every single review we'll see is filled with puns in like their scoring and things like that. They're gonna be like this spectacular thing. It's like that. Like we know.
Yeah.
Just call it Spider-Man and leave it at that. But like we're arguing over a puddle when, say, if in the gameplay trailer Spider-Man had 3 arms and now he has 2, then that's a thing that you'd be on about you. Be like, what happened? And things like that. But no, he's always been the same. He's always had that same outfit design, at least in Insomniac's vision. Puddles come and go. It's not anything you should worry about.
All right, Mark, we're going to wrap it up on that note. Let us know what you think of PuddleGate. Let us know what you think of PuddleGate down below in the comments. Are developers just under the magnifying glass too damn much? Are we as gamers, I'm not speaking directly at you, the listeners, broad statement, are we as gamers being too critical of what our video game developers are doing? Is it fair? Because in my opinion, it's not fair. We're going too far. We just need to take a deep breath, let the puddles go, let Doom have its gags, and stop reading into too much regarding transphobic tweets. It's already a meme. Just let's all take a deep breath and dial it back down to 11. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. As well, please check the notification bell next to our subscribe box, just to ensure that you guys do get notified when our new videos go up. There have been some bugs circulating around YouTube of late which are impacting our channel, so we want to make sure these videos are actually reaching you guys. But until episode 41, guys, have a good one.